Number 2 Dhamma talk on November 11th, 2014. Like I said during last week's talk, when we are listening to the Dhamma talk, we should concentrate on listening. Don't pay attention to any other thing. Don't do anything. Don't talk, and don't think about other things. Just focus your attention on the Dhamma talk that you are listening to. If you can do this, you will absorb the Dhamma into your heart. From listening to the Dhamma talk, you can achieve two different goals. 1. If you cannot understand what you are listening to, but you concentrate on listening to the voice of Dhamma, the voice of Dhamma can calm your mind and make your mind calm and peaceful. 2. If you can understand the Dhamma talk, the reason, the cause and effect, then you can gain Panya, insight or knowledge. The knowledge in Buddhism consists of 3 levels. The first level is called Sutta Maya Panya, knowledge that you learn from listening to a Dhamma talk. The second level of knowledge is called Chintamaya Panya, the knowledge that you acquire by contemplating or thinking about Dhamma. The third level of knowledge is called Bhavana Maya Panya, meaning the knowledge that you apply in eliminating your mental suffering, your stress, anxiety and worry. The knowledge that you acquire from listening is not strong enough yet to eliminate the stress and the suffering in your heart. From what you have learned and what you have heard, the next step is to contemplate them so it stays with you in the mind. Once it stays with you in the mind, when you want to apply it to eliminate your suffering, you can readily do it. What we have to contemplate all the time is the impermanent nature of things. Things are not permanent. They don't last forever. Sooner or later they will leave you, or you will leave them. There will be separation from things and from people that you love. If you are not ready, if you have not prepared yourself for this, when it happens, it can cause sadness, sorrow and lamentation in your heart. But if you are constantly observing your mind, reminding yourself that you live in an impermanent world in which there will be separation, if you just keep on reminding the mind of this, then you will not forget. You will then prepare the mind for the separation. When the separation happens, the mind will not be affected. Instead, it will just be calm and peaceful, acknowledging the truth that sooner or later we will all have to go our different ways. We can see this in the life cycle. The mind and the body come together at the time of conception and stay together in the womb of the mother. When the body and the mind leave the womb, the mind is the master, the body is the servant. The mind directs and tells the body what to do. Like tonight, your mind told your body to go to Wat Pelai. If you didn't tell the body to go there, your body would not be there. If you told the body to go to your friend's house instead, then the body would be at your friend's house and not at Wat Pelai. So the mind is the master, the one who controls the body. but it can control the body only to a certain extent. There are things in the body that the mind cannot control. That is, the process of aging, sickness, and death. These are beyond the ability of the mind to control. If the mind clings to the body and has desire for the body to last forever, to not get old, to not get sick or die, then when the body gets old, gets sick or dies, the mind will be unhappy. Some people with terminal cancer may be told that they only have 3 months to live. Their mind may have already lost the appetite to live, when in fact the body can still last for 3 months. And there are a lot of things you can do in these 3 months. But when people don't have the Dhamma, they don't know how to cope with this situation. All they do is look for ways to cure the cancer, and if they could, they would end their lives, because they don't want to go through the physical pain. But if you have studied the Dhamma and learned how to cope with the aging and sickness and death of the body, you will not be affected by what is happening to the body. So this is what we come to do. Train the mind to cope with the eventuality of the body, that one day the body will have to get old, one day the body will have to get sick, and it will be painful. But the mind can rise above and transcend this sickness and physical pain if the mind knows how to stay calm. This is where meditation comes into play. We sit in meditation in order to calm our mind. We are learning to calm our mind, so in time of stress, in time of physical sickness, we can calm the mind. And if the mind is calm, the mind can still be happy and blissful without having to worry about the physical pain. The physical pain will not be strong enough to disturb the happiness that the mind has acquired from being calm. So this is very important, because we all have to go through the process of separation, losing things that we love, losing people that we love, and even having to lose our body finally. But now we will be able to do it peacefully and happily. This is how the Buddha and all the noble disciples dealt with their passing away. Their minds were not affected by the passing away of their bodies, or by the pain that arose during sickness, or the difficulties they had to go through during old age. These things will be considered minor issues to the mind if the mind is peaceful and calm. But if we don't know how to calm the mind, the delusion will tell the mind to reject the sickness and the pain that arise in the body. When the mind does that, it will create more stress and more suffering. So we need to develop calm, and once we have developed calm, the next thing is to know how to keep it calm during the time of stress. During the time of stress, when we cannot enter into samadhi, into full concentration, we have to use vipassana or panya, which means knowledge that we use to instruct the mind to stay calm. The knowledge that will keep the mind calm is in fact that everything is impermanent. Everything is beyond our control. We cannot do anything when things unfold beyond our control. All we can do is remain calm, and And the way to be calm is to not to have any desire for the things you cannot control. You have to let go. If you cannot fix the body, if you cannot cure the body, you just have to let the body be. If you let it be, your mind will have no stress. Your mind will remain calm and peaceful. So this is the practice of meditation that we try to develop. In order to be able to control the mind, we cannot control everything, but we can control the mind. The mind can be in our control if we have mindfulness, sati, samadhi, calm, panya, knowledge and insight. These are the three Dhamma necessary to keep the mind peaceful, calm and happy at all times, regardless of what may happen. You might lose your loved ones, you might lose your job, you might lose whatever you have, and you might lose your body, but the mind that is trained to face these situations will remain peaceful, calm, blissful and happy. So this is what we come here tonight for, to learn how to keep the mind calm. And the tool that will make the mind calm is called sati, or mindfulness. Mindfulness is something that you have to first develop before you can calm your mind. If you have no mindfulness or little mindfulness, when you sit in meditation, you cannot focus on your meditation subject. You might be able to focus briefly, then your mind will dash out to think about this and that. If you just let the mind think about this and that, then your mind will never be peaceful. You can sit for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and then you will feel the desire to get up, because you cannot control your thoughts about getting up and doing something else. But if you have strong mindfulness, you can focus your mind on your meditation subject, be it a mantra like recitation of the Buddha's name, Buddho, Buddho, or watching your breath. If you can focus or concentrate on either of these two subjects continuously, then your mind will gradually converge to become one, to become peaceful and calm. When the mind remains at peace, then you don't need to maintain your meditation subject anymore, because the mind has already stopped thinking. So this is what you want to achieve from your meditation. But before you can achieve this, you must try to develop mindfulness before you sit down and meditate. You can develop mindfulness all day long, all the time when you are awake. From the time you open your eyes, you should start your mindfulness. Some choose to repeat a mantra. If you choose a mantra, then start your mind with Buddho, Buddho. Don't allow your mind to think about this and that, unless you have to think of something that you have to do for the day, like planning your activities for the day. You can then stop your mantra temporarily and think about what you have to do. Once you have done that, then you should stop thinking and come back to your mantra. Come back to your Buddho, your mental recitation. Just recite Buddho, Buddho mentally. While you're getting up, going to the bathroom to wash up, getting dressed and going out to work, be mindful by repeating Buddho all the time, so that you don't have to think. If you do think, it will be very brief, like when putting on your shirt or clothes. You can use Buddho until the time you have to focus on your work. Then after you finish doing whatever you have to do, you just go back to your mantra, your mental recitation. Keep reciting Buddho, Buddho. If you can maintain this level of mindfulness when you sit in meditation and focus on your object, focus on your meditation subject, you can continue with the mantra if you like. If you want to use your breath as your meditation subject, you can also do that. Either one will do. If your mindfulness is strong, your mind will not wander to other things. It will stay with your mantra or with your breath, and your mind will gradually become calmer and calmer and eventually stop thinking. Sometimes it can even separate from the body. The body will disappear from the awareness. All you have is the knowing, the knower. But there is nothing to know except emptiness and peace and the neutrality of mind. There is no emotion. The mind is completely neutral with no likes or dislikes. This is the result that you will get from sitting using mindfulness to keep your mind focused on your meditation subject. Once the mind becomes peaceful and rested, let it rest for as long as possible, and don't do anything with the mind except maintain your mindfulness. Your awareness of the state of mind at that time. If you should see or hear things in your meditation, don't pay attention to them. Keep paying attention to your meditation subject. If you don't, you can be misled. What you see or what you hear, although it might be interesting or wonderful, is not beneficial to the mind, because it will agitate the mind with desire and discontent. So you must try to make the mind ignore whatever might come up during meditation. You should just keep focusing on your meditation subject until the mind finally converges to become one, to become the knower, to be peaceful and calm and have nothing to experience, nothing to see or nothing to hear. Then you should let the mind remain in that state for as long as possible, because it will give your mind the strength to resist your desire when you come out of your meditation. The longer you stay in that state of peace of mind, the stronger will be your resistance to your desire. This is the prerequisite to the development of Vipassana Bhavana, insight meditation. You do insight meditation after you come out of your samadhi, your state of calm, noticing that your mind withdraws from the state of calm and starts to receive knowledge that comes through your senses, like your eyes, ears, nose, tongue and body. When you see things, when you hear things, your mind will start to have desire, either desire to have them or desire to get rid of them. When this happens, you must use Vipassana knowledge. The knowledge that the Buddha teaches us develops the ability to leave everything alone, because these things are harmful to the mind. Whether you like or dislike things, you have to leave them alone and not have any desire for them. If you have desire for things you like, you will chase after them. When you get them, they will only give you temporary happiness and then will disappear, and you will have to chase after more things to make you happy. It is better not to go after things. It is better just to remain peaceful and calm, because you can always have this peace and calm and the happiness associated with it. So this is what Vipassana is about. It is about teaching your mind not to seek happiness with things and people, or what you see, hear, feel, touch, smell and taste. They create temporary happiness that can make you miserable when you cannot get what you want. So this is what you have to keep telling your mind. Everything that the mind thinks is good is actually not good, because everything is anicca, impermanent, temporary. All things are anatta, beyond your control. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't get them. When you get them, you're happy. When you don't get them, you become sad. So it is better not to want them at all. It is better to just have the happiness that arises from peace of mind. So this is what you have to do when you come out of your meditation. When you notice the desire to drink something that you don't really need, don't drink it. If you want to drink to sustain the body, just drink plain water. Don't drink beverages with sweet or sour flavours, because this kind of desire can get you hooked on them. Once you are hooked, you have to keep on drinking them, and when you cannot drink them, you become unhappy. This is the work of Vipassana, to teach the mind not to rely on anything for happiness. Rely only on peace of mind for happiness. Come back to meditate more, or come back to your meditation subject, like the mantra, Buddho, Buddho. Every time you want something that you don't have to have, just repeat Buddho, Buddho, Buddho. After a while, you will forget what you want to have, and in this way, you will be able to eliminate all your desire. When there are no desires in your mind will be pure. Your mind will always be peaceful and happy, because the mind doesn't have to rely on anything to make it happy. It can be happy on its own. It doesn't need anything. Even the body. Should the body die, the mind will not be affected by the dissolution of the body, because the mind is content and happy. It is peaceful and calm. So this is what your goal is, to make your mind calm, peaceful and happy, by letting go of your desire and attachment to things and people. Try to meditate more and more, as much as possible. When you have experienced some of the results from your meditation, you will get strong encouragement to practice more. And the more you practice, the more results you will have. Then eventually you will want to practice all the time, because there is nothing in this world that is as good as the happiness that arises from your meditation. But when you first start on this journey, you have to have faith in the Buddha that this is the right path for you, the path to the end of suffering, the path to real and eternal happiness, because the mind is eternal. The mind doesn't die with the body, and the happiness that the mind can create by being calm will stay with the mind forever. This is the faith that you have to have in the Buddha and in the noble disciples. Believe that before they became the noble disciples, they were just like us, full of desires and suffering. But after having heard the Dhamma teachings, they followed the teachings wholeheartedly and completely, putting their total effort into the practice, and after practicing they eventually became the noble disciples. Then they helped the Buddha spread the teachings further. They are the people that you can trust. the Buddha and the Noble Disciples. Any time you have any doubt, go to the teaching, study their biographies, how they lived, how they struggled with their problems, how they resolved their problems, use their ways, their examples. Every time you feel discouraged, when you think of the Buddha and the Noble Disciples, or think of the Buddha's teachings, you will become encouraged again. Every time you listen to Dhamma talks or read Dhamma books, you will be energized to practice more. So it is important that you keep studying the Dhamma teaching on a regular basis, listening to Dhamma talks or reading Dhamma books, especially the books written by the Noble Disciples, or books about what the Buddha himself taught. If you read books that are written by other people who haven't become enlightened yet, they can mislead you because they themselves don't know the real truth yet. So you have to be discriminating when you study the Dhamma teaching. Make sure you get the teachings from the original source, from the enlightened ones themselves. Like all the suttas, the discourses, they are the words of the Buddha that you can trust and follow. You have to keep studying because you can forget if you only study once in a while, and then you can misinterpret the teaching. But if you keep studying the teaching as well as practicing, these things have to go together. You don't study first and practice separately, but you have to do both. You study, you listen to Dhamma talks, then you apply it in your practice. Then after a while, you come back to listen to more Dhamma talks, and then you will gain more knowledge. You will understand more deeply the different ways of practicing, and if you have questions, you should seek the advice from those who have experience. If you seek advice from people who don't have the experience, they can mislead you, because they themselves don't know the answer, but they themselves don't want to say no, that they don't know. So they might tell you something that they think might solve your problem, but this is not good enough. You should ask those who know, who have the experience. They can tell you the correct answer, the correct way of overcoming your problem. So I thought for tonight I have spoken quite enough, and I will let you ask questions. This has been the reading of the second chapter of Dhamma for the Asking, Volume 2, the Skype sessions by Ajahn Suchart Abhijato, read by myself, Panyavaro, Martin Ferries, on Sunday 16th of January 2021 at Wat Mahatat, Kings Bromley. Thank you for your attention. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.